All right. I have, um, well, I guess, let me start with this. So I have my usual three stories, but two of them are kind of the funny stories. All right. Let me start, but of course, let me start with the serious story, which, concerns Hillary Clinton. Now, I've seen things and I've seen articles and I've heard commentary about Hillary Clinton possibly running again in 2020. Tim Pool did a video on this. But I heard about it before he did the video. This is from CNN. So let me just get into it. Well, let me say this. I don't need to get into the article too much. All right. So Hillary Clinton, let's just do this. I'm just going to do this. Let's say Hillary ran. Okay? Let's say she ran. Here's something that I think the Democrats lack. Currently, let me say that first. Let me start with Trump. Trump is a genius when it comes to the media. He is, forget politics, forget all of that. That man knows how to work the media. I mean, he has mastered it. He is very, very, very good at it. He's probably the best you could ever be at it. Trump is a star. Okay, he's a hot topic. He's just a guy who, he's a larger than life character. He just has that stardom. He has the X factor. He has the it factor. Whatever you want to call it, he has it. I ask you a question right now. Take the Democrats that are currently running. Tim Pool asked this question. Or I don't know if he asked this question, but he made the same point that I'm about to make. Name me one Democrat currently that is running that has the star power that Trump has. You don't even need to think long. None. There is no Democrat running right now that has the draw, the impact, the influence on the media that Trump possesses. None. Beto, no. Pete. Okay, let me just say this about Pete. Did Pete Buttigieg die? Because I haven't heard about this guy in maybe a month. I don't know how, did he end his campaign? I have no clue. But, Pete Buttigieg, Castro, no. Warren, no. Biden, no. Sanders, no. The herd is thinning, obviously. Kamala Harris, no. Let me say this. I'm in California. I don't know. And I've talked to different people on campus. I don't know anybody who supports Kamala Harris in 2020. I knew a few people who supported her in 2016. But I'm up here and in 2016 I wasn't even up here in Sacramento. California is Kamala Harris's state. She's not making it out here. She's going. I don't see Kamala making it out of October. I don't see it. So she's failing in her home state. So obviously she doesn't have the star power. Cory Booker, he's just a guy to me that whatever he says, you kind of laugh at it because he's not a guy that I take seriously at all. Like, to me, he's just a... Here's my thing. Here's my opinion about Cory Booker. Cory Booker, like he's just one of those people who I believe he wants to be remembered. He wants to be legendary. He wants to have an incredible legacy. He wants to be remembered for his greatness. But he's not he's not who he thinks he is. He's not at the level that he thinks he's at. I believe he thinks he's more than he actually is. To me, he's just a Zeta male who panders. He's a guy that no one takes seriously. I know one person who supports Cory Booker. But they said they admitted to me. They said he is a joke. They said I like his policies, but Cory Booker, the guy, is a joke that I can't take seriously. And so they said that they wouldn't even vote for him. I was like, wow, that's really something to say. So you're a fan of his policies. But anyway, what's my point? My point is, the Democrats don't have anyone right now that in terms of the media can match Trump. There isn't one. Trump has been working the media since the 80s, 90s. I mean 80s, 90s, like around that time. He's a master of it. So there's no one from the Democrats who can match him. Now bring Hillary Clinton into the picture. Just because of her last name, Clinton. That's magnetism. That is something that money can't buy. That's something money can't buy. You have a name where she's prominent. She is, I'm going to say this, if she were to enter the race, it would be the absolute death of the Democrats for 2020. I mean, they might as well just be like, yeah, that's it. That's it. Just give this one to Trump. We'll try again in 2024. But if she does, one, I don't think she would get the Democratic nominee, the Democratic nomination. I don't think she would get that. But she does have the star power to match Trump. Here's the thing. Hillary lost. I think a lot of it is kind of interesting, because I look at it and I'm like, okay, here was my thing. Here was my thing with Hillary. Here's what I think happened. And this is just my opinion. I believe that there were people who thought Hillary had it in the bag. Well, actually, I gotta say this. I have two opinions. Or two theories. Theory one is when it came time for Hillary Clinton, her base, I think there were just so many people who just bit into what the media was presenting. They said Trump is just this horrible, horrible person. There's no way this guy's gonna win. And so they said there's really no need to vote because Hillary's got this. Like, she's got it in the bag. I remember Conan O'Brien, he kind of made a joke after the election. He was like, because I think someone asked him, like, who would you vote for? And he's like, he was like, I would have voted for Hillary, but it's like, I thought she had it and all of that. And it was just kind of funny. But what he said, I think partially makes my theory correct. I believe there were a lot of people who they were like, okay, no one, Trump just has these crazy red MAGA hat wearing people, and that's it. Everyone else hates him, so he's not going to win. So they just thought Hillary I think they just thought she had it. She did win the popular vote, but not by that much. I want to say just off the top of my head, I would think it was like anywhere, I think it was like 2 million votes. Don't quote me on that, because I don't know. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I don't quite remember. So that's theory 1. Theory 2 is there were people who they just, they thought about it, and it came time for voting day, and they said, you know what? They had in mind Hillary, and they said, you know what? Right when they got into the booth, they said, Trump. And I think that's what some people did. That's, and I think one thing that hurt her was, I think another thing that hurt her was the email, the 33,000 email scandal, and all of that. And Trump even brought that up in a tweet. And it's just, he pretty much said, this is me paraphrasing the tweet, but he pretty much invited Hillary to run. And he said, you know what, come on, Crooked Hillary, just, come on, join in the fun. But on one condition, we talk about these, 33,000 emails. That's just me paraphrasing the tweet, but that's kind of what he said. And I think that's one reason that she lost. Because here's the thing, people looked at Trump. Here's the thing. People look at Trump and they're like, okay, his personality is not the best. I think even if you take the strongest Trump supporter, I think they'll concede, yeah, Trump isn't, in terms of a person, he's not the best guy. He's definitely an entertaining dude, for sure. Like, he is very entertaining, for sure. But I think even the strongest one would say, okay, Trump as a person, I'm not a fan of. So you had the allegations against him, that, weren't corroborated. You had that issue. And they were just like, okay, Trump's just a big mouth, he talks a lot, he does all of this stuff. But overall, like, his policy, they said, you know what, his policy is decent. The thing with Hillary was like, hers was political. And just her name, Clinton, ties you to Bill Clinton. And it's like, okay, that's not really a great thing to be connected to in certain areas. And you're like, okay, those emails, which did happen. That did happen. Like there is verifiable proof that those emails were deleted. And she was just like, it was just kind of mismanaged, and I would have, if I could go back, then we would do it differently, which personally I don't believe. But anyway, that thing, I think in people's minds, they were like, okay, that's kind of a security issue. And even if you don't fully understand politics and all of that, it's just like, why would you, like, people would just ask themselves, why would you delete 33,000 emails? Like, why would you delete emails? Like, I think people were just kind of curious about that, and they were just like, you know what? No. And I think maybe another factor was that she's a woman. That might be. Personally, let me say this. If it were to come between a man and a woman and say everything, I'm going to say this. Let's say everything were the same. I would prefer a male president. I would prefer a guy. Okay? I said it. It's out there. Okay. But at the end of the day, I look at policy and it's like, okay, who has the best policies? What do I think is best? Who do I think has the best policy that will affect the nation positively and me personally positively? That's what I think. That's how I go into vote. That's how I go into vote. And if it happens to be a woman, I'd be like, I wish you were a guy, but you're not. I mean, you're a woman. That's cool. I'll vote for you. You get my vote because you have the best policies in my opinion. So I think Hillary being a woman, I think that did play a little bit of a factor. But if she were indeed to run again, if she were to run again, she would lose. Like she wouldn't even make it. She wouldn't even make it to the general election. But she does have the star power just because of her name, who she is, where she's been. You know, she's gotten around, you know, politically. You know, she's very well versed, and I think that's another thing that really held her back. See, here's the thing. In politics, you want to keep your trail as short as possible. The way Obama did it was beautiful. I don't agree with Obama on his politics and stuff like that, but the way he went about his political career was perfect. Keep it short, gain some momentum, move up, gain some more momentum, and just go for it. Okay, because he wasn't a politician for long. Community organizer, he worked his way up, and then pretty soon it's like, dang, this guy's in the White House. That's amazing. So because her political career is so long, there's just so much to look at. And I think that was just a giant ball and chain connected to her ankle. That's something that she couldn't escape. And with Trump, people were like, okay, this guy's not a politician. This guy, obviously, he speaks his mind. He's not politically correct. He's a breath of fresh air. We may not like him personally, but it's like, well, I know what he's saying is what he's thinking. So, do I think she's going to run again? I don't think so. I think Hillary has decently smart people around her. I think she has smart people on her staff where they would just be like, look, Hillary, you know, you've tried multiple times. You're done. Just don't do it. Just do your speaking tour, do that stuff. But anything outside of that, no, just don't do it. So I don't think she's going to run again. I'm going to say this though. If she does run again, I think it would be an absolute travesty to the Democratic Party. I think it would be. Because they'd be like, Hillary, go away, please. We're trying to move away from you, but you came back in. That's what I think would happen. So I think Hillary, you know, Hillary's no idiot. So she's a smart lady. She has smart people around her. I think I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Okay. So that's that story. I think I spent like almost 20 minutes on that. Okay. Where am I gonna go now? These two stories, I don't even know what to say. You know what? This next one is political. This next one is political. I'm gonna go here. Okay. I've never heard of a story like this. This is unbelievable to me. I mean, dear Lord. I don't, oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna, alright, I've never seen a story like this. This is from Fox News. Mexico mayor tied to truck, dragged through streets amid reported anger over unfulfilled campaign promise. My God, today. When I saw that headline, I thought I read it wrong. And then I was just like, did they really do that? Like, that sounds like something out of like a movie or a cartoon, but they really did this. Here's the article. 11 people were arrested in southern Mexico on Tuesday after the mayor of their village was dragged out of his office, beaten, and then tied to a pickup truck and dragged through the streets of the town, according to officials. The state attorney general's office said in a news release that the incident happened early Tuesday in the town of Las Margaritas. That's that Spanish 1B kicking in. When a group of people stormed Mayor Jorge Luis Escandon Hernandez's office and caused damage to real estate in addition to assaulting him. The angry group of farmers was demanding the mayor build a road he promised to construct during his campaign, Mexican news outlet Excelsior reported. Video taken by bystanders outside the building showed the men pulling the mayor out of the building and forcing him onto the back of a truck. Another surveillance video captured the moment the mayor was dragged along from the back of the truck through the streets of San Rita in Las Margaritas. State police were eventually able to rescue the mayor, according to Excelsior newspaper. The incident caused a brawl between the locals and the police, leaving at least 20 injured and 11 arrested. The state attorney general's office said in a news release that Hernandez is safe and sound and that he was examined by doctors after the incident. This was the second attack this year by locals demanding the mayor fulfill his campaign promise to build the road, according to the BBC. 4 months ago, a group of men trashed his office when he was not found there. The state's prosecutor's office condemned the violent attack and pledged to deploy more officers to guarantee the rule of law and security throughout the state territory. Oh my God, to me, that is amazing. You know, here's what people need to understand about politics. Let me just say this about government. Big government is inefficient. It's just not really something that you want to deal with. There's, bureaucrats and a bunch of policy and, greasing of palms and there's just so much. There's so much. And so sometimes people wonder, okay, why didn't, this camp, you promised us this, how come we don't have it? When you understand how government works and how government is run, you understand how slow things are. It's like we've been asking for this for years. What's taking so long? Because there are so many people involved in the government. There are 5 million people that work in the executive branch. Like think about that. 5 million people. That is a huge number. So government is, it's usually not the answer. Now, I'll say this. Government is necessary. Some people say the government should get out of so many things. Like some people say the government should get out of marriage. Get completely and totally out of marriage. Okay, that's stupid. That is stupid. That's just not a good thing. Because it helps hold people responsible. I shouldn't just say marriage, but just overall family. And it's like, okay, that's really just a bad idea. Because you could easily, if I, a man, find this girl, and, I'm like, okay, you're cute. She thinks I'm cute. We go and we have sex. I get her pregnant, and then I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's say she keeps it, and then I dip, and I don't pay child support, and I don't do anything, and I don't take responsibility for my actions. With no government, there's no one to hold me responsible to say, okay, dude, no, stop right there. You don't have to have a relationship with a woman, but you are going to take care of business. You're going to pay and help support the rearing of this child. So government is necessary in some things, but government overall is really not the answer to many problems. That's what I talked about in my op-ed. It's culture and it's parenting and it's the home life. It's the core that really matters when it comes to many, many problems. Policy isn't the answer. You have to, now policy is necessary, but it's not going to cause, changes in changes in human behavior. We have to focus on human behavior, and we have to focus on the culture. We have to focus on teaching and, the home life and keeping the family strong and keeping marriages together. Those are the things that we have to pay attention to. That, things like that are the answer. But concerning this, obviously government was, government's needed, because you can't just go and just pave a road. You can't just do that. That's not how it works. But this story was just unbelievable to me. Like, these guys stormed his place, manhandled him, brought him outside, beat him, tied him to the back of their truck, and they drove him dragging him through the streets. I mean, wow. It makes me glad that I'm in America. It makes me glad that I'm in America. Because I'm going to say this. In America, this would never happen. Let me not say never. This just wouldn't happen. This would be so unlikely. I mean, they held this guy in the palm of their hands. I mean, they did whatever they wanted to him. Yeah, eventually, more police got there, but by then it's too late. He's already sustained injuries. And I mean, this is obviously the second time that they've tried to, do something. Because they just trashed his office the first time. But it's like, wow, man, this is just an incredible story that makes me glad I live in America. Now, this story. Sometimes I just don't understand. Some things just make me laugh. Some things just make my jaw drop. Some things I just shake my head. I'm gonna read this article to you guys. I'm not gonna make it all the way through. You guys already know me. I'm not gonna make it all the way through. But this story is hilarious. This story is hilarious. It's sad. It is sad, but it's hilarious to me. This is from abcnews.go.com. And by the way, this is a real article. I am not making this up. What I'm about to say is not made up. This is a real article from abcnews.go by John Haworth. Woman claims brother fed her meth sandwich after failing sobriety test. A meth sandwich. First of all, I'm going to try to read. I'm going to do my best. An Arkansas woman who told police her brother fed her a methamphetamine sandwich has been arrested with him after police found copious amounts of drug paraphernalia in their car. Elizabeth Marie Catlett, 29, and Don Russell Furr, 33, were allegedly pulled over in Hot Springs, Arkansas, when a police officer caught them pulling out of a parking lot without the headlights on. The officer approached the vehicle but became suspicious when they caught a strong scent of marijuana. According to the probable cause affidavit, and Catlett, who had been driving the vehicle, began moving about in the vehicle in a quick, nervous manner. It was at that point when another officer arrived and searched Catlett for illegal items after observing her suspicious behavior. The authorities found several small plastic bags as well as a straw cut into a shorter length. Catlett claimed that the items didn't belong to her and that somebody else had placed them in her front pocket. Okay. Let me just... I think I'm going to stop right here just for a little bit. Somebody else had placed items in her front pocket. The human thigh is it's an erogenous area. It's a place. There are a lot of nerves in the thigh area. I don't understand how somebody can take anything and put it into her pocket. How someone can put it into her pocket and she doesn't know. And let me say this. Let's say it's true. Let's say this is true. Let's say she didn't feel it. I'll go with this. Let's say it happened while she was asleep. Let's say it happened while she was asleep. Okay, so she's asleep. Someone slides them into her front pockets. And the person leaves. She wakes up. You would notice that there are things in your pockets that shouldn't. You would feel it. You would know it. That this is preposterous. Like this isn't. Oh, there's something in the trunk and it's like, oh, that's not mine. Or there's something in the backseat where it's like, oh, that's not mine. You're telling me someone put something on your person in your front pocket, and you just didn't know. The officers then turned to Fur and asked him if there was anything else illegal in the vehicle. He allegedly told them if there is anything in the car, it would be in the console and it would be ice. Police ended up recovering 0.5 grams of meth, a large number of alcohol swabs, medical supplies, and a glass smoking pipe from the vehicle. Fur then admitted to police that he and Catlett had used meth the day before. Authorities also noticed that there were needle marks from IV usage on Catlett's arm. Both were subsequently taken to the Garland County Detention Center. While at the detention center, Catlett failed a sobriety test and refused to submit to a chemical test because her brother fed her a sandwich that contained meth and that she thought he had put meth in her drink earlier in the evening. Something he had habitually done, she alleged. Okay. Alright. How do you eat a meth sandwich and not know it? I've never done meth. I haven't done drugs. But I just... How do you do that? How does someone... Wouldn't the sandwich taste just a little bit off? Like, wouldn't you think... this ham and turkey just doesn't... It's not quite right. There's something in it, and somehow she says, and she alleges that this is something that he has done before on multiple occasions. What? Why? I don't even know what to say anymore, because You know, sometimes I just try to envision things. Sometimes I just try to envision scenarios. Like, I'll see a headline and I'll just think, I'll be like, okay, that's the end product. What were the events that caused that and led up to that? I see this headline that says a woman claims brother fed her meth sandwich after failing sobriety test. How do you eat a meth sandwich? How do you do that? I don't that I mean, is this something, is this I can't find words to say. Like a meth sandwich. You know, there were just certain things that I would just never think of thinking about. Like, and I mean, you know, obviously drugs put you in a different mental state, and it changes your wiring, and it changes all of that. But it's like, I would never think to put methamphetamine in someone's sandwich. I wouldn't think of that. And if I'm the person eating it, I can't imagine me eating the sandwich after one bite. I can't. I don't get it. Fur and Catlett currently remain in the detention center facing charges of possession of methamphetamine or cocaine with purpose to deliver and 4 counts of possession of drug paraphernalia. Catlett's bond was set at $14,500 with additional charges of DWI and refusal to submit to a chemical test. Fur's bond was set at $13,500. They will appear in Hot Spring District Court on November 4th. I don't even know how to end this segment. I don't even know what to say. To anyone out there who has ever had a meth sandwich, to anyone who has had the opportunity, just reach out to me and let me know what your experience was like eating a meth sandwich. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really knowledgeable about drugs. I mean, does meth not have a taste? I don't know. I don't know. If it doesn't have a taste, then I guess this makes sense. But wouldn't you feel your body doing like your body would feel different the minute you swallow? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, and people, if you do eat, if you I don't know what to, you know what? Just stay off the meth. Just stay off the meth.